What's up, tennis fans? Sleepy Picks here. We got another quarterfinal to talk to you about between Taylor Fritz and Brandon Nakashima. Let's take a look at the matchup. And we got Taylor Fritz playing Brandon Nakashima head-to-head here is 4-1 in favor of Fritz. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about Taylor Fritz's path to the quarterfinals here. It will beat Mickelson in straight sets, Marita in straights, O'Connell in straights. And, the match tonight against O'Connell, Fritz did what he needed to do. He held serve. But it was pretty clear to me, I felt like he really could have taken it to O'Connell. He could have come out. He could have been roping the forehand a little bit better. But I felt like he came with the B game. Knew he was going to win this match no matter what. It would take a monumental effort, like we talked about, for O'Connell to beat Fritz. And Fritz seemed to expect that win. It got a little bit sticky. We were at 4-all in the first set. 5-4. O'Connell serving to stay in the set. Not able to do it. Throws in a few errors there, a few loose errors. So Fritz was able to win that set, and then we get another back and forth set where Fritz is able to break in the middle of the set and hold on for a 6-3 win. I just felt like it was a little bit casual. I don't know if I want to say casual is the right word. I just felt like Fritz didn't really go, all out against him. Where like I feel like if you watch like a Yannick Sinner, even a Carlos Alcaraz, they're gonna win this match like 1-1 or 2-2 and get off court pretty quickly. Fritz was out there for a little bit. He was getting a little bit frustrated too with his game because I feel like when in some of those bigger points he kind of went to turn it back onto that A game and just couldn't really find it. But didn't need it today against O'Connell. Let's talk about Nakashima's path to the quarterfinals. Able to beat Kovacevic in straight sets, Medvedev in 3, and Borges today in 3. And what an impressive win here. What an impressive run it's been over the summer for Nakashima. Able to get an early break in that first set. And for me, I think that was so crucial for Brandon because I feel like that first set could have been drawn out a lot longer, but he gets an early break on the board, just serve, is able to cruise to a 6-3 victory. They get to a breaker, no breaks in the second set, and Borges is able to push out a 7-5 win in that breaker. And you think, wow, like, is this going to be the same case as Hadar, where we saw kind of like the legs of Hadar give out a little bit towards the end of that match? And it wasn't. Nakashima just so tough here at the end, and Borges was missing some really uncharacteristic shots. He normally makes these balls, and you could see him getting so frustrated about not making some of these close shots, and that's something, guys, we got to take note of. I mean, in these big situations, it just feels like Borges time and time again just comes up short. And I don't know, I feel it's tough because you have a guy in Borges doesn't hit a lot of has a good serve, can't really rope either side, so has to rely on the errors. When he does try to step in or take the ball early, that is slightly risky, if you're playing against a guy like Brandon Nakashima who's able to hit the ball with such depth. So we kind of have to keep an eye on that for Borges. In these tighter matches, he seems to really struggle. But a good win here for Nakashima in 3 sets, and you see him flexing at the end of the match. You can tell like he's so excited to be playing this kind of tennis. And we talked earlier about the Wayne Ferreira coaching change that he made just a few weeks ago. I guess now a month ago. And it seems to be paying dividends already. I mean, his game has elevated to a new level here. So we got to like what we're seeing here. Let's talk about these guys' records. Taylor Fritz, 16-8 on the hard courts this year, 31-12 last year, 23-10 the year before. He's coming off a straight set loss to Toronto and Montreal, but let's not forget that he was able to win the DC Open a couple days before that. It got delayed because of the rain, so that they played a Monday match, him and Hadar. Then they go over to DC, or they go over to Montreal, and he has to play a match on Wednesday. That's tough. That's really tough to get back there. And I think it's kind of smart, given the knees of Fritz. He's told us though in the press conferences that the knees are totally fine. He's feeling really good, but we watched Wimbledon against Zverev. He didn't look great there, so it's always like a tricky situation, getting deep into some of these tournaments or playing back-to-back tournaments. Nakashima, on the other hand, he's 20-8 on the hard courts, 19-14 last year, 24-12 the year before. 24 is the most he's had in a single season on the hard courts, so he'll be looking to pass that. He's coming off a loss to Ben Shelton in the finals of Montreal, and what an incredible run he had there, beating Altmaier, Drogwe, Rinderknecht, Darderi, and Hadar to get to the finals. Ran into a Ben Shelton who was just lights out that entire week. Let's talk about this head-to-head here. It is 4-1 in favor of Taylor Fritz. Nakashima's one win coming in this very tournament, though. A 6-4, 4-6, 7-6 win in the first round. The wild card, Nakashima able to upset Taylor Fritz in the first round, an 11-seeded Taylor Fritz. They played twice this year, once on the indoor hard courts of Dallas, where Fritz was able to win 6-3, 6-4. He was playing some pretty good tennis there, and we know Fritz does play pretty well on the indoor courts. And then they just played in D.C., where Fritz was able to win 6-3, 3-6, 6-3 in the semifinals there. And I was there for that match. And, the one thing that stood out to me the most was the depth of shot that Fritz had and how much it frustrated Brandon Nakashima, because he couldn't impose anything, any part of his game that he wanted. We saw him in the previous match against Alex de Minaur coming to net, chipping balls, really putting pressure on the opponent. But when Fritz is hitting the ball like a foot from the baseline, it's so hard to do that. And I think that really frustrated him. And then tack on the ability of Fritz to hit that big serve to get out of trouble. I thought Nakashima returned his serve very well. And, from what I was watching, I thought Nakashima was reading the serve really well. You watch Nakashima's return, and this is why he's got one of the best returns in the game. He's able to see the toss and step in the direction of that serve. Now, you watch like Fritz, he doesn't do that. He's very athletic where he's able to kind of react quickly as it is. But Nakashima's making that move as that toss is going up, before the ball's even struck. He's stepping in the direction where he thinks the ball is going. And that's impressive stuff. I mean, he was reading the serve extremely well there. Guys, this match is going to be a close one in my opinion. But I think it's going to be a win for Taylor Fritz. And I just, for me, the one thing that I'm backing on is the fact that Nakashima's played so much tennis. Semifinals of DC, finals of Montreal, now in the quarterfinals of Cincinnati. I mean, number one, how much more can this guy do? But number two, it did look to me like we were getting a little bit tired towards the end of that match. Borges just not able to expose it. Fritz is definitely going to be able to expose it. Let's not to mention the fact that if Nakashima wants to maintain his court positioning, he's going to have to really dig those legs in to redirect a lot of these big Fritz forehands that are going to be coming, like we said, about a foot and a half from the baseline. Nakashima's also going on about 6.5 hours on court compared to Fritz, who's got 4. I think this is going to be Fritz in straight sets. I think we're going to see one very tight, close set. If Nakashima wins it, then maybe he can kind of push for a victory there. I don't see Nakashima winning this in 3. And that's kind of where I feel like he's gonna have to win it. Like I don't see Fritz dropping a straight set loss, but I also don't see Nakashima winning in 3. So I gotta go with Taylor Fritz to win this one in straights. I just think he's gonna serve extremely well. I think going up against a Nakashima that's gonna be a little bit tired, Fritz is just gonna take full advantage of that, and he's gonna work this guy. I do think, guys, and I said this about, we didn't get it with Fritz and Shelton at Wimbledon. But I have this weird feeling that Nakashima is going to get a rematch either with Fritz or Shelton, and he's going to be able to turn that into a win. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Fritz, guys, at the U.S. Open. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But for now, give me Fritz. He's going to advance to semis and straights. And here's a look at our round of 16 records. 4-4 for me, not too great there. Going 500, kind of happy. A lot of upsets today. Gecko calling some of those upsets, going 5-3. Pamplemousse 6-2. I mean, really impressive stuff for the Pamplemousse. Only missing the Zverev upset and the Hadar upset. It looks like Gecko's going to hit that 60 win mark for this tournament. That's extremely impressive. Also want to give a shout out to Guy, who called out the Tommy Paul upset. Called it Tommy Paul in 3 sets. I said, that'd be awesome to see. I did say this would be a barometer to see kind of what we're seeing from Tommy Paul. And, he hit that one. That's a great call there. And KBL Sus calling today as an upset day. Said early on at the beginning of our videos that this is going to be a big day full of upsets, and it really was. I mean, we saw the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed go down today. A day full of upsets. Is that going to continue to happen? We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we can carry our records into the quarterfinals. And as always, guys, thanks again for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share your picks in the comments. Share the video. Love hearing from you guys. A lot of really good picks today from you guys in a day that was full of upsets as well. We will have a video out individually for each of the quarterfinals, as well as a video out for the quarterfinals all together. I can't wait for these quarterfinals. This has been a really exciting tournament, getting me really pumped up for the U.S. Open. I think we're going to have a really good tournament there in New York. Can't wait for it. I'll see you guys in the next video.